Afternoon, YouTube. Beautiful sunshiny day. Ooh, gotta love it. After today, everything's gonna get a little bit warmer. We're gonna be above the freezing mark. So I've been plugging away. Look at that, eh? I don't even need to leave that in there now. You can go over here because this is the other bucket. We got one item to finish, but I had a little interruption. Good interruption. Actually, 3 of them. One was lunch. One was somebody came for a fire pit. And Mavis and I went for a little drive into town and come home with 3 dishwashers and an over-the-range fan. So that was a bonus. So this is the last thing I was working on before I went for lunch. So I'm using this thing. This guy works pretty good when you need him with that type of kit. And then of course I use an extension. There's one right there, that one. There should be another one. I thought I left it on here. But anyways. But it takes, I don't have any 18 volt batteries. See, that's 18 volt. That's 20 volt. Now you all remember I bought a converter to go from 18 to 20 volt. But what do you do when the 20 volt battery dies and you only have a 14 volt charger? I showed E-Waste Mike yesterday this contraption. That's a 7.2 volt to 18 volt charger with the universal adapter charging the 20 volt battery, lithium ion. Generally charges the NiCad batteries. I guess the charger is a charger, doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, it's already charged. Look at that. We're at 3 bars. I'll leave it on there. I'm going to leave it on a little while longer, see if that quits flashing. But they said in the thing it would not work. You cannot charge a battery with this adapter. Yeah, it works just fine. Now I'm not going to leave it on there unattended. I don't leave any of my batteries plugged in unattended. A lot of people are talking about your lithium batteries, you know, on the e-bikes and that stuff. Whenever I charge them, I never leave them unattended. Some people plug them in and take off into town, or they plug them in at night and go to bed. Well, if you leave those, the lithium ion battery would like to be uncharged when the charger says it's done charging. For some unknown reason, it continues a trickle charge or something and it damages the battery, and then you got your fires. Now, I'm not sure how that works, but anyways, I'm getting off topic. But that's the little contraption I set up. I just put it back on there again. I took it off for lunch and then I come back out and put it back on. So, but anyways, that's the last item there. That bucket is empty. There's all them Powerwasher cast aluminum frames. I actually stuck one in there. You should have kept them all together. But that whole bucket is full. Doesn't take long to do. There was 10 or 12 of them. They got all their bits and pieces in here and in there. Those things work great, man. If you need them, hang on to a couple of them. I got 3 or 4 different sizes. This is I call them magnet motors because the only thing that's copper in them is the rotor. The stator is just a big steel thing with magnets, but I use them for beating stuff up, getting stuff out. So these came off of treadmills. That's why they had the brackets on them. And they work great for punching stuff out. Like, I don't throw these things out because they got a big hunk of extruded aluminum in the middle of them. Well, if you got this thing sitting on top, see, look at that. Now you give it one whack with the hammer and it's out. You don't make a whole big mess. So now I can add that pail back to my garbage collection. And yeah, they were all, a lot of them had oil in them. But that's why this pail is here. See, some of it was water mixed with oil. So the compressors, the power washers were definitely not that good. That one was drained a long time ago, but I see there's a little bit, and see a little tray like that in case there is. It doesn't get everything super dirty, except when I take the cover off. But otherwise it'd be running all over the bench. This way it's contained, and I can just stand it up on its edge in there and it can re-drain. So, but yeah, so we're hovering at 50 over here by the window. Of course, I let that thing almost go right out because I needed to clean the ashes out and let the coals burn down a bit, because you get too big of a bed of coals, you can't put much wood in anymore. So I just reloaded it. And it looks like I'm gonna have to bring in some wood again tomorrow. I got enough to load for tonight and first thing in the morning. And yes, I do come out here at between 4 and 5 a.m. every morning to top her up, so it keeps the temperature half decent, 40 to 50 degrees during the night. So, and then until I get back out here working again. But that's what I've been playing with, and yeah, that's a tedious job, but that little impact gun works good. That was from that whole tool set I found at the curb. This impact gun works great, but it's an anvil, so it only takes the socket. It doesn't take those things. Doesn't take the little adapters, and generally that's what you need for these things. So sorry about the light, but I'm not going to knock that beautiful sunshine coming through the window. We take whatever little bit of heat we get, right? Look at that. So anyways, that's that. Getting her done. Saturday. What else do you do, right? That's all irony aluminum. Those two buckets right there. Sheet aluminum. I don't know if I have any. Well, I do have a little bit of zinc in there. Not much. Don't get a whole lot. Generally from bathroom taps, you know. They're not cast aluminum, they're zinc, or die cast, whatever you want to call it. I still haven't done anything with my lead yet. That's all I have. There's about 20 pounds there. As I find out who's got prices on lead. I don't get a lot of it. This one's getting fuller, full of brass. I got more to add because it's so convenient. When I take brass off, I just dump it in that pail. And this is how it's going so far with the plug-ins. Not full yet. We're working on it. Got 7 or 8 5-gallon pails outside to do yet. So, and then whatever I've added to that bucket right there. Plug soup gonna happen again. I don't need to do plug soup with the little guys, but it sure helped with the big fat appliance plugs. You know, these guys right here, it sure made them easier coming apart. Yeah, my cord hoard. One time years ago I needed one of these for some reason. I have a deep fryer and I had an electric frying pan. They each had their own, and for some reason we lost one. Don't know how. Looked and looked and looked. Found one at a Goodwill, I think it was, for 50 cents. And that's like 15 some years ago. Now I think I have about they're in there. There's at least 10 or 12 of them in there. Another one up there, you can see them hanging there. They're probably hanging, dangling off of this side. Every cord has a reason. Not sure what to do with cord when there's no cuts or anything in them, you know. You hang on to them. If they're 14 gauge or better, I hang on to them. And I've always had the odd person come around. Oh, I need a new plug for my stove or my dryer. You got one? Oh, well. There's those both look like stove plugs. There's a dryer one. No, that's a stove. Yeah, that's a dryer one. And then float switches, you know. Hear it? It's for submersible pumps. Got a couple of those hanging there too. So if you ever need anything, let me know. I could probably send you one. I probably have it in there somewhere. Yeah, there's different types. Ones with circuit breakers built into them. They are there. So anyways, I'm gonna get back to work. Wow, long-winded, ain't I? What do you think of my monstrosity? It works. It definitely works.